Hi team, welcome to today's workout. Thank you so much for joining me today. Before we get started, I will remind you, please make sure to check in once we are finished today. You can do that just below the video player here. As well, please make use of the stretching video that is also available to you. Flexibility really is just as important as the workout itself. All right, so today's workout, we're going to do supersets with plank holds. So how this is going to work, we're going to start out with a superset, which is 2 different exercises that are going to work different parts of our bodies while the other rests. We're going to do each exercise for a set amount of reps. We're going to go through that superset twice. After those 2 rounds, we're going to switch into some sort of plank and we're going to hold it for 1 whole minute. I'll show you how to do everything before we even do it. So let's get started. Number 1, we're going to start with straight leg hip lifts. So you're actually going to need something to put your feet up onto. It can be an ottoman, a step, your couch, a chair, anything like that. 20 of those. Then we're going to do 10 per side of something called tabletop rows. That's our superset. After those 2 rounds, we're going to switch into a regular front plank. All right? So straight leg hip lifts. Like I was saying, you're going to need something to put your feet up onto. I'm just going to use my little ottoman here. What we're going to do is we're going to lay down on our backs, looking up towards the ceiling. We're going to put our heels up on whatever thing you are using with our legs nice and straight without locking our knees. We're just going to lift our hips up to the ceiling, squeezing our bums at the top. You may not feel like you're lifting very high, and that is fine. As long as you're getting that lift and the squeeze at the top, that is all I'm looking for. After that, we have 10 per side tabletop rows. So you will need some sort of weight for this, but we're only going to need 1, whether you have dumbbells, soup cans, water bottles, whatever you have. We're going to get down into table position just like so. From here, what we're going to do, keeping our core nice and tight, so squeezing that core, you're going to drive 1 elbow behind you, squeezing that shoulder blade at the top. All right, give yourself a little half second to a second pause at the top. We're going to do 10 on one side, then we'll switch over and do 10 on the other. After those 2 rounds of that superset is through, we are going to do a front plank. So I am going to show you a plank position on the floor. If that's a bit too intense for you, especially to hold for a whole minute, feel free to stand up, lean against something like a wall, a set of stairs, a chair. Anything that's going to have you standing up taller is going to make this easier for you. Okay? All right, so front plank, we're going to get down on our elbows. All right, keeping a nice straight line from our shoulder to our contact point with the floor. That can either be your knees or your toes, completely up to you. No bums in the air. Bring that bum down nice and low. You almost want to make a 90-degree angle with your, basically this top part of your arm going straight into the floor. If you're back like this, that's putting a lot of pressure on your shoulders. Make sure you're getting that nice 90-degree angle straight into the floor. All right, squeezing your core from there, and then we're just going to hold it for 1 whole minute. So let's get started here, team, with our straight leg hip lifts. 20 of these. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2. So keeping those legs nice and straight without locking your knees. 5, squeezing that bum at the top. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Keep going, team. 11, 12, nice work. 13, keep going. 14, 15, almost there. 16, ooh. 17, you'll probably feel this in your hamstrings as well. You are supposed to. 19 and 20. All right, switching to our tabletop row. 10 per side of these. Let's grab our weight in 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So keeping that elbow nice and close to your body, bringing that elbow behind you, squeezing that shoulder blade at the top. 8, 9, and 10. All right, switching sides in 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Keep going, team. 5, and 6, almost there, team. 8, 9, and 10. All right, switching back to our straight leg hip lifts, final round, and then we'll switch to our plank. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, keep going team. 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're halfway through. 11, and 12. Keep going team. 13, and 14. Almost there. 15, whew, 16, feeling the burn. 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, final tabletop rows, and then we'll switch into that front plank. All right, grab your weight. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Keep going, team. 5. Squeezing that shoulder blade at the top. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, switching sides. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5. Keep going, team. 6. Awesome job. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, switching to our front plank. Let's get into position. Remember to modify this however you need to. Down on our elbows. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and up. Keeping that core nice and tight, nice and squeezed the whole time. Breathing normally. Awesome work, team. Stay with me. Keep holding, keep squeezing. Remember to keep that bum down nice and low. Keeping that 90 degrees, basically from your shoulder, driving down through your arm, through your elbow into the floor. All right, 20 seconds left here, team. Awesome work. Stay with me now. Almost there, 10 seconds. And here we go, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. All right, awesome job, team. Let's take a quick break. We'll grab some water, and then we'll move on to the next one, all right? Whew. Whew. All right, take a deep breath with me here, team, and in, and out. All right, moving on here, team. We are going to do 10 per side hydrants and then 20 push-ups. That's going to be our superset going back and forth. Then we are going to hold a left side plank for our final minute. I'll show you these things and then we will get started. So, hydrants. We're going to get down back into that table position that we were just in for our tabletop row. From here, what we're going to do is you're going to shift all of your weight over to one of your knees. The other leg that has no weight on it, you're going to keep that knee bent and you're just going to lift that leg straight out to the side till you feel a small squeeze in your hip. We're going to do 10 on one side of those, then we're going to switch over and do 10 on the other. After that, we're going to do regular push-ups. So, much like our front plank, this is a plank position on the floor. If you find that's just a bit too intense, feel free to stand up and lean against something, okay? This is a plank position you can do from either your knees, which is going to make it easier, or your toes, which is going to make it more intense, all right? So, this time we're going to be up on our hands. Our hands are going to be slightly wider than our shoulders. Much like our front plank, you're going to keep that nice straight line from your shoulder to your contact point with the floor, whether that's your knees or your toes, completely up to you. No bums in the air. Bring those bums down nice and low. And then you are just going to lower yourself down 90 degrees, pushing yourself back up. Keep your core nice and tight on this one as well. That's going to stop your body from caving downwards, which we don't want. The only thing that really should be doing any mechanical movement is your arms, all right? 20 of those. Then we're switching into a left side plank. So left side plank, you're going to brace yourself on your forearm of your left arm. From there, you have two options when it comes to this plank. You want to make it a little simpler. You can swing that bottom leg underneath, plank up from your knee, keeping that core nice and squeezed the whole time. Or if you're feeling a little bit more ambitious, you can do this from your feet, just like this. Same thing, keeping that core nice and squeezed the whole time for our whole minute. If you start on your feet and end up on your knee, that's completely fine with me too, okay? So let's get started with our hydrants here, team. 10 per side. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2. So lifting that knee straight out to the side until you feel a small squeeze in your hip. And 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, switching legs. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, and 3. Keep going, team. 4, and 5, 6, almost there. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, first set of push-ups, 20 of these. Modify them however you need to. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Remember to keep that core nice and tight on these as well, team. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're halfway through. 11, 12, and 13. Almost there, team. 14, 15, 16. Almost there. 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, switching back to our hydrants. Final 10 per side of these. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. Keep going, team. 6, and 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switching sides in 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going, team. 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, switching to our push-ups. Final 20 of these. Here we go, team. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. Keep going, team. 6, and 7. Awesome work. 8, 9, and 10. Keep that core nice and tight the whole time. 12, 13, 14, 15. Almost there, team. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Whew. All right, excellent job, team. Let's switch to that left side plank. Remember your two options for this, so feel free to modify these however you need to. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and up. Keep your core nice and squeezed the whole time. That's going to take a lot of pressure off of your shoulder. Also try to make sure that your shoulder is directly above your elbow, giving you that 90-degree angle, all right? If you're out at an angle, leaning either too far this way or too far that way, you're gonna put a lot of pressure on that shoulder, which is just going to make this tougher. Whew. Keep holding, keep squeezing. Doing great there, team. All right, 20 seconds left. Whew. And remember, if you start on your feet and end up on your knees, that's completely fine. All right, 5 seconds here, team. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Oh my gosh. Those side planks are killer, aren't they? Oh. All right, let's take a quick break here, team. We'll grab some water, and then we'll move on to the next one. Whew. Whew. All right, team. Take a deep breath with me. Here we go. And in. And out. All right. Moving on here, team. We're going to do 20 goblet squats, 20 rear delt flies, and then we are switching our plank to the opposite side, to our right hand side. All right. I'll show you these things, and then we will get started. So, a goblet squat is basically a regular squat, but you're holding some weight, all right? So regular squat, you're gonna start feet slightly wider than your shoulders, toes pointed out at a bit of an angle. From there, you're gonna hinge at your knees and your waist with your weight in your heels, all right? Sitting down as if you're about to sit in a chair, pushing up through your heels in order to stand back up. From there, you can just hold the weight in front of you, just like I am here. We are going to do 20 of those. After that, we are going to switch to something called rear delt fly. So, a rear delt fly, I recommend you grab something a little bit lighter than you would have used for something called tabletop row, just because our arms are going to be straight for this one. That's called your lever length, okay? Your lever length is going to be long, therefore this is going to make it a little bit more intense for us. So, I'm gonna grab my lighter weights for this one. We're going to start feet shoulder width apart with a slight bend in our knees. From there, we're gonna hinge forward pretty much into a 90-degree flat back position, just like this. If this is bothering your lower back standing, feel free to sit on the edge of something, just the edge of your bum, just on the edge of whatever you are using. It can be a chair, your couch, an ottoman, anything like that. Once you're in that position, what we're going to do with your palms facing your knees, head forward as if you're staring at something. We're just gonna keep our arms nice and straight, shoulder blades down, low on our back. We're just gonna lift our weights straight out to the side, just like this, all right? So to the side, if you were to shoot an arrow through my hand, it should go through both my shoulders and out the other hand, all right? I don't want you lifting them back here. Think straight out, almost like a T shape to the side, all right? 20 of those, and then we are going to switch to our right side plank, where, again, you get those two options. You can either swing that leg underneath, plank from there, or you can do this from your feet, all right? So let's get started here, team, with our goblet squats. 20 of these, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome job, team. 5. So pushing up through those heels in order to stand up. 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're halfway through now. 11, 12, 13, 14. Almost there, team. 15, 16, 17, awesome work. Stay with me. 18, 19, and 20. All right, rear delt fly, 20 of these. Let's grab our lighter weights for these ones. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Keep those arms nice and straight, but if you do find they're getting intense, you can drive your elbows up to the side instead of driving your hands all the way up, all right? 10, halfway through. 11, 12, 13, 14. Almost there, team. 15, 16, 17. Almost done. 18, 19, and 20. All right, switching to our goblet squats. Final round of these. Final 20. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Keep going, team. 5, and 6, and 7, 8, and 9, and 10. We're halfway through. 11, and 12, and 13, 14. Almost there, team. 15, 16. Pushing up through those heels. 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, switching back to our rear delt fly. Final 20 of these. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So raising those weights up to the sides, gently squeezing your shoulder blades together in the back, keeping your shoulder blades down nice and low on your back so we're not shrugging up into our necks. All right, 11, 12, 13. Stay with me now, team. 14, 15, 16. Almost there. 17, 18, 19, and 20. Whew. All right, switching now to our right side plank. Remember to modify these however you need to here, team, from your knees or your feet. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and up. Up, squeezing that core. Whew. And again, keeping that elbow directly under your shoulder. Shoulder directly over your elbow. Core nice and tight, breathing normally. Please don't forget to breathe. Whew. Awesome job, team. Stay with me now. We are almost all the way through. We have 20 seconds left. Doing great. And remember, if you start on your feet and end up on your knees, that's completely fine to me too, okay? I would rather you just fill the whole minute just holding the plank rather than burning out, all right? 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Oh, all right, awesome job, team. Let's take this quick break, grab some water, and then we have one left, all right? Whew. Whew. All right, team, take a nice deep breath with me. Here we go, and in and out. All right, moving on here, team. Last one. We are going to do 10 per side of something called hip flexor raise. After that, we're going to do 20 of something called shrugs. Then we are going to hold a hip lift, kind of similar to what we did in the first round, except our feet are going to be on the floor. It's going to be a regular hip lift. We're going to hold that just at the top for that last minute. All right? So, hip flexor raise. You can use a weight for these, or you don't have to. All right? What you're going to do is, if you feel the need to hold on to something for balance, please feel free to do that. All right? I'm not a big stickler when it comes to having to have the perfect balance. Okay? So, if you need to stick your hand on something, go right ahead. You're going to shift all of your weight over to one of your feet. The other leg that has no weight on it, if you are using a weight, this is where you're going to rest that weight just kind of right on top of your thigh, just like this. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to drive that knee up as high as it will go, just kind of sliding your hand down towards your knee. All right, we're going to do 10 on one side of those. Then we'll switch over and do 10 on the other. After that, we're going to switch to something called shrugs. So this is, again, a plank position on the floor. We're going to be on our hands. So if you feel the need to stand up and lean against something, feel free to do that, okay? We're going to get into a plank position on our hands with our hands nice and close together. This is also going to be one of the only positions where I'm going to tell you to lock your elbows, all right? The movement, what's going to happen being in this position is you're just going to drop your body down towards the floor, pushing yourself up, staying within your shoulder socket, all right? It's not going to feel like a huge range of motion. That's completely fine, all right? Just as long as you're dropping yourself down towards the floor, then pushing yourself back out. That is what I'm looking for, all right? 20 of those, then we are switching into a hip lift hold. So, laying down on our backs, knees bent up towards the ceiling. We're just gonna lift our bums, squeezing them at the top, holding this position for our final minute. All right, let's get started here, team, with our hip flexor raise. 10 per side of these. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and go. Actually gonna change my position here so you can more so see from the side what I'm doing. That's 4, 5. I also want you to keep a slight bend in your planted leg, the leg that's not doing anything right now, just to take pressure off that joint. And 10. All right, switching sides. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Keep going, team. 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, switching to our shrugs first time through. First 20 of these, let's get into position. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Keep going, team. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Keep going. We're halfway through. 11. Remember, it's not a huge range of motion. You may not feel like you're doing very much. That's completely fine. 15. Definitely starting to feel this in my shoulders. 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, switching to our hip flexor raise. Final round. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. Keep going, team. 6, and 7. Awesome job. 8, 9, and 10. All right, switching sides. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. Keep going, team. 6. Awesome job. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, final shrugs, final 20 of these. And then we'll switch to our hip lift. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Keep going, team. 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're halfway through. 11, and 12, 13, 14, almost there. 15, stay with me now. 16, just dropping that lower body down towards the floor, pushing it up within that shoulder socket. 19, and 20. Whew. All right, final hip lift hold here, team. And then we're done for the day. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and up. Squeezing that bum at the top. Breathing normally. Depending how you're feeling, you could use this as a chance to catch your breath. Excellent work, team. Stay with me now. Lifting and squeezing that bum at the top. All right, 20 seconds left. Almost there, almost done. Awesome work. Stay with me here, team. In 3, 2, 1, and rest. Oh, all right. Excellent job, team. We did it. We are done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I always appreciate you being here. Now that we are done, please remember to check in the comments. You can do that just below the video player here. As well, if you feel comfortable with it, I would love to see your sweaty selfie on social media. You can tag me on both Facebook and Instagram at M12 Fitness Liz. All right? Thanks again so much, team, and I'll see you for our next one.